I usually ask them their long-term, short-term goals, the definition of integrity, definition of multitasking.
First of all, if you're coming in to pick up the application, you should be appropriately dressed.
But make sure you dress nicely, groom properly.
You know, casual, you know, even professional. No cutoffs, no shorts, sandals, flip-flops. Because you may end up getting an interview right then and there that afternoon when you finish filling out the application.
That we really look for in the interview process is, you know, how do you present yourself in an interview?
On time, early is usually a good thing. Make sure that your application is completely filled out front and back, nothing's misspelled.
I'm going to ask you what your goals are and, you know, what departments you're willing to work in. You know, don't limit yourself.
As far as the application goes, when it's filled out, I'm looking at penmanship. It doesn't have to be great penmanship, but I need to be able to read the name and the phone number. And then I'm looking for completion of the application.
Actual filling out the application form, you know, there's a few things that we really look for on there. Make sure that you have your proper birth date, make sure that you have your proper social security number. You know, we do background checks on our applications, and we also do drug tests, and so that's something on the application form, you know, that sometimes we rule out students because they'll put on their flat out that they won't pass the drug test. So
I usually look over the application and see if they've had any other job experience, and if not, I don't mind hiring people that don't have job experience. I can usually teach them the right way instead of having other bad habits.
We don't necessarily look for somebody or hold it against anybody that doesn't have a lot of work experience being at that age, because a lot of times this is the first job.
Somebody with no experience, it's not a bad thing because there's no bad habits to break or untrain.
Some of the things that we look at on there are our previous work history. If we see, you know, a 16 or 17-year-old student that comes in that's had 5 or 6 jobs, you know, that's a red flag that we look at as far as why they're not using any jobs.
I mean, being well-mannered.
And then the actual interview itself, some of the things we look for are, you know, communication skills, how well you can communicate.
Volunteer work is always good.
It's your appearance, firm handshake, completely filling out the application, and being honest in the interview.
Math is definitely a plus, especially when you're dealing with money all day long. So math skills are a must.
You know, the red flags where, you know, the not good eye contact, a lot of ums and ands and that kind of stuff are red flags that we look for.
I'm looking for somebody that's going to listen, pay attention, and follow directions.
Even if you don't have a history with employment, if you've done babysitting or mowed lawns or worked for your father, that would still show responsibility, and you could put that on the application.
As far as references go, we do check references, both personal and professional references.
You know, you want to put people that will give you a good reference.
But one thing I would warn against is using friends as references. You know, a lot of times if we see that you put on there that it's your best friend and it's another student, well, that's not going to really tell us much about you.
When you're considering going in and filling out an application or asking for an application, you should take into consideration the nature of the business that you're applying at. For example, if it's a restaurant, you don't want to go in at noon during the middle of their lunch rush and be asking for an application.
And the less questions we have to ask and the more answers we get, you know, that's what we look for. So, you know, really using that 15-20 minute window to let us know who you are, because that's pretty much what we're going to be basing our decision on.